to the Popish Plot. I'm Nate.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Mike.
Today we are here with another installment of May's tribute to those saintly individuals of the Asias and the Pacific Islands. Today we're going to be talking about Blessed To-Rote.
Peter To-Rote.
Yes, Blessed Peter To-Rote. Sorry.
We're just really trying to make sure we get the last name right, because if we pronounce it the way it looks in English, it is not good.
Yeah.
And just a cautionary note, we may mispronounce various proper nouns throughout this episode. We apologize.
Blessed Peter was born March 5th in 1912 in what was then New Pomeranian, German New Guinea.
People forget, before the First World War, the Germans had a colonial empire.
Mm-hmm.
And then he died July 7th, 1945 in what was...
Rakunai, East New Britain, territory of New Guinea.
He was then beatified on January 17th in 1995 in Papua New Guinea by Pope John Paul II, because the name of the country and area changed all those times, but it was still the same area.
Same place.
He is the patron of married couples, catechists, the area that he died in,
Rakunai.
and was one for World Youth Day 2008.
There you go.
Awesome.
He was the third of 6 kids born to a village chief and his wife, both of whom had converted to Catholicism before he was born.
Nice. So a cradle Catholic.
Yep. He was sent to the local mission school, even though school was not a requirement in any form at that time and place.
Because clearly his parents understood the value of knowledge and a good education.
In 1930, when he was 18, the parish priest suggested that he might be interested in studying for the priesthood, but his family and him decided that they were going to have him study to be a catechist at that time.
Now, just for clarification, this is not studying to be the catechist at your local parish, where you might take a couple of classes over a weekend, and then the priest goes and holds his hand over you, and now you're a catechist. This was actually going to a college-level school to study for multiple years to take on the official role of a catechist. It'd probably be closer to being like a DRE kind of a thing in modern Western terms.
Yes. He went to St. Paul's College of the Missionaries of the Sacred Heart in a nearby area, and was commissioned to be a catechist after 3 years of training.
Nice.
On November 11th in 1936, he married Paula Lavarpit. So clearly they were all right in him not being a priest.
Yeah, clearly priesthood was not what he was called for.
They had a church ceremony. From what I can tell, she was probably Catholic too, at the very least Christian. And they also included local traditions and customs in the overall celebration as well.
Because once again, as we've been instructed before, when Catholics encountered new cultures, they were charged with baptizing that which was good and setting aside those things which were not.
Yep.
They had 3 children, 2 of whom died young. That would be the first and second child. The third child actually was born after he died, but they lived to old age.
Hey!
After Peter died.
Yes.
Yeah. Good clarification.
Yeah. They lived a long life having
been born after they died.
No.
That's a miracle right there in and of itself.
No. After their father died. When Japan occupied the country in 1942, World War II, all the foreign missionaries were interned, so Peter was in fact in charge of the parish, because the priest was a foreign missionary, and he got,
He got put in a camp.
The priest even said when he was, being taken away, essentially, you're now in charge.
Yeah, well, again, he's a fully qualified catechist.
Yes.
He can't go so far as to give them the Eucharist, but he could still go and do
Prayer services,
and mostly
studies.
other things that they would need.
Emergency baptisms.
Yes.
Anybody can do that.
Yeah.
In about a year to 2 years after this point, the Japanese outlawed all religious services on the island.
Yep.
So he had secret services in what was called a bush church, because basically they went outside the village and collected themselves at a certain area for lessons.
Out
The
into
church
the bush.
went underground.
As it often has to do under severe persecution.
Yep. one thing he is most noted for, in part because this ended up leading to his death, and in part because this is how he became a patron for married couples, is there was a buried police officer who was working with the Japanese who really liked another man's wife. So his plot was he was going to steal the wife and marry her. And the Japanese at the time allowed multiple marriages. I have no idea how the whole already married was going to work out because they didn't allow women to be bigamous, just men, and it didn't seem like they were going to kill the husband, which seems like the type of thing that they would do, but it was just like, if I kidnap her, she has to marry me.
No, this whole thing is shady.
It sounds like a bad idea.
It's a very good thing for someone like Blessed Peter to stop.
Yes, he and some other people stopped this, which resulted in increased spying on Peter, because again, this guy was an authority figure who was working with the people occupying the island.
And Peter kind of outed himself as one of them Catholics.
Well, doing the right thing sometimes has consequences. We just celebrated Easter. Before that is Good Friday. Doing the right thing has severe consequences.
Yes, he ended up getting arrested for having religious objects in his house on Christmas of 1944, where apparently during the time he was arrested, he was trying to make a veggie garden to go and feed people in the village, like even the Japanese.
Yeah. He was doing he was working towards humanitarian efforts.
He admitted to being a catechist and was beaten and jailed and then sentenced to 2 months in a local concentration camp.
Yikes.
Some other Christians of the area of various denominations were fighting for his release, along with various village chiefs and other authorities that weren't part of the Japanese
the Japanese army.
Yeah.
He seemed to appreciate the effort, but he kind of knew that wasn't going to work.
Yep.
So
Yep.
He informed his mother he thought he was going to die from being in here, but he was prepared for it.
As we all should be.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the day he died, he let his family know that, as he said, "The police told me that this evening a Japanese doctor will come and give me some medicine. Surprising, since I'm not sick. I suspect this is a trick." And then asked him to bring his good clothes and a cross for him to die in, because he kind of could tell what was up.
Yep. He was no fool.
No. He was given what should have been a lethal injection, but it was taking too long to kill him. So they also went and smothered him, hit him on the back of the neck, and possibly strangled him too.
Sweet mercy.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes. As soon as they informed everyone that your catechist has died, all the people in charge were like, "What did you do to him?" And didn't buy his story that he fell, because they didn't even hide what they did when they went to get the body.
Yeah.
Well, that's really the problem.
He fell into a vat of poison.
It's really problem. That's really the problem with less than, all right, how to put it. With a lesser way of killing a person, you tend to leave marks.
Well, the movies have given us all this idea that poisoning someone is quick and painless.
No,
that's almost never the case.
It's brutal and horrible,
and it often takes a while.
Yes, and they apparently could even see the injection mark. So it wasn't one of those cop shows where they're like checking everywhere and they're like, it looks like maybe this is a bug bite.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So it was pretty obvious that he was, murdered for being Christian, which is part of the reason why he got to at least the point of being blessed so quickly. As he's currently a blessed, there's limited amounts on how much universally he is celebrated.
Yeah, but locally he could be a big deal.
But yes, he's celebrated in Papua New Guinea, the Solomon Islands, Australia, and according to some things I've read, among the Missionaries of the Sacred Heart, which was the school that he went to college in.
Well, and all it's going to take is for someone out there to fervently ask for his intercession, get a second miracle, and boom, could be a saint celebrated the world over.
Yes. I mean, I imagine part of his issue is that the things that he's known for are the miracles that you can't really, prove.
Sure.
I mean, I bet lots of married couples have prayed during trying times to him.
But yes, he saved our marriage is not the same kind of miracle as, yes, this enormous cancerous growth just went away overnight.
Yes.
My leg previously bent the other direction, and now it doesn't.
Instead, we decided not to get divorced.
Which would make him very happy.
It should make us all very happy.
Seriously.
But it's not necessarily the flashy miracle that'll get you canonized, sure.
Yep.
So, the life of Blessed Peter. A life lived in dedication to Christ. A life lived amidst the tyrannies of the 20th century. A life of self-sacrificing love for others. And dirty tricks.
Blessed Peter Toe wrote, pray for us. So, go down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, the bell next to it, and that thumbs up, because they're all right there in a group. You can get all three of them at once.
It's so convenient.
It's a nice little package deal. And while you're down there, go down to the comment section and leave a comment about
Saints with difficult to pronounce last names?
That'd be excellent. Give us a list of saints with difficult to pronounce last names. It doesn't have to be something that we would necessarily think is difficult. It just has to be something that you think might be difficult.
I'm going to agree with you no matter what the name is.
She will.
Unless it's Smith in the most common spelling. You know, once you throw the E's and Y's at the end, who knows?
And then she'll go and look it up, and
rules in
then
this place.
and then she'll go and look it up, and maybe she'll find that saint has a story that she feels like telling, and we'll do another one of these episodes. Mm-hmm. And until next time, remember to live your faith.
Love your faith.
Share that love.